How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about this now viral clip coming out of UVA, that is the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. And yes, that same Charlottesville where the now infamous incident happened about the statue of Robert E. Lee, the whole good people on both sides kerfuffle, which Trump was right about that, but that's a different story and not digress. My point is that yes, this is the same Charlottesville. Now, before I go any further, let's go ahead and roll the clip. After we get done with the clip, I'll give you some much needed context. Then I give you my 2 cents, my analysis, and then I wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Public service announcement. Excuse me. If y'all didn't know, this is the MSC, and frankly, there's just too many white people in here, and this is a space for people of color. So just be really cognizant of the space that you're taking up, because it does make some of us POCs uncomfortable when we see too many white people in here. It's only been open for 4 days, and frankly, there's the whole university for a lot of y'all to be at, and there's very few spaces for us. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, I'm not really sure where to begin. Let's start from the very top. The first thing I want to address is the young lady's mind state, okay? I think this is not even really her fault. I think she's been indoctrinated from a very young age. I don't know about her parents, what's going on with that, but I think that elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, we'll get to that in a moment, have all failed her. They've all told her things that are just wrong. Same thing with television, movies, the internet, just media in general have told her the wrong things. They have portrayed a message that you have to be part of this little group. You got to be a person of color. You can't really be over here with the quote unquote white folks and get along with them. You got to be over here in your own little corner. You got to have your own little space. And by the way, that term space really burns my biscuit. It really gets me triggered anytime I hear it. It just kind of makes my skin crawl. I don't even really know why, but that's a really triggering term. People of color is also kind of a triggering term because it ain't nothing but colored people backwards with an of in the middle to make it be a little bit more bougie for 2020, but I digress. The point is that I think she has been indoctrinated from a very young age, which is why she would get up and say, this particular space is only for POCs, or it's too many non-POCs here. We don't feel comfortable. Go to other spaces, this, that, and the third. Now, the quote unquote space, as the cool kids would say, where she was a Multicultural Student Center. Now, I don't know why there's a need for a Multicultural Student Center. What are you really doing there? Like, how was that little space where you got couches and chairs and whatnot any different than any other quote unquote space? And if white folks are there, why is it a problem? Okay. Multicultural should mean all cultures. Everybody can just be together and it's all good. But maybe in her mind and in the mind of others, multicultural simply means everybody but white. Colored people, basically. This is the colored section. Are we going to go back to that? I thought that the left did not like things like this. And be clear, academia in general, they're run by the left. You're going to see these little centers all over the place in academia. And UVA especially, maybe they're trying to get past what happened with the incident from 2017 where the young lady died. May she rest in peace. Maybe they're trying to get past that. But I don't know how long these quote unquote centers have been here. They most recently relocated this particular space in this month, February 2020. But I'm not quite sure how long it was at the university before it got relocated. There are also some other new spaces. There's a Latinx space. And by the way, Latinx, isn't the Spanish language predicated upon gendering your words, like the A or the O at the end denotes feminine or masculine? How are you going to actually change the meaning of words in the entire language to fit your SJW narrative? It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. I would think most people that are Hispanic kind of reject that Latinx term. Don't even really know why it has to be, but that's a different story, and I'll move on. My point is that there's a new quote unquote Latinx center. There's Also with LGBTQ, ABCDEFG, every letter in the alphabet center, and also with Interfaith Center. Now, when you hear things like this, in my mind, it's different than how it may be in other people's minds. Okay. In a rational mind, a multicultural center would be for everybody, not just for non-whites. But in my mind, I'm thinking how they think. I'm thinking this is for non-whites only. And you got to be woke to be in there. So you got to be non-white and on the left to be in there. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. The LGBTQ thing, same thing. Unless you have your pronouns in your Twitter profile, you don't belong in there. You could be a gay person, but you might not be a radical. You can't be in there. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay. Also with the Latinx, same thing, same kind of, you got to not only fit the particular look, but also the particular ideology. In the Interfaith Center, I'm thinking you have Muslims in there and that's it. No Christians or anything like that. Nah, Muslims or people that have religions that appear to be non-white, which is ridiculous because Christianity is not a white religion the same way Islam is not necessarily a Middle Eastern religion. You got people from all over the world that practice Islam. You got Islamists in Asia, or Southeast Asia, Oceania, wherever you want to call it, like Indonesia, Malaysia. You got them here. You got them in Europe. You got them everywhere. There's a lot of them right there in the old Ottoman Empire, whatever you want to call it right now, of course, yes. But they're all over the world. Same thing with Christians. They're all over Europe, of course, yes, but they're in South America, North America, Asia, Africa, Oceania. They're all over all the continents. Billions of people follow these religions. But the way that the quote unquote woke mind thinks, you got to be a certain color and a certain ideology to fit within these little boxes. If you don't, then this little space is not for you. So, when I saw the video, I kind of wanted to bomb on the girl, but I think this is less her fault and more about society failing her. Okay. Her parents, I don't know what's going on. Were they in the picture? Were they on drugs? Who knows? She could have wonderful parents, come from privileged background or not wonderful parents. I have no idea. I don't know this girl from Adam, but what I do know is that the words she was using, the general language she was just putting out there, in my humble opinion, come from an indoctrinated mind, a mind that does not really know anything better. So as I close, I want to say this. There really shouldn't be these little safe spaces for people. I mean, you're at a college, everybody's supposed to be getting along. One thing that I gained from college, the little bit of time that I did go, I went 2 years and change at a community college, and then I went 1 year at a 4-year. I never stayed on campus or anything, but I was always able to meet new people, make friends. That was my whole thing. The main thing I got from college was not too much of the education, aside from like maybe about a year and a half where I learned how to be a graphic designer. The main thing was the networking, building relationships with people from all backgrounds. It didn't matter, black, white, whatever. I was cool with the black folks on campus, with whites, with my teachers, everybody, because that was an important part of my evolution into what I was doing, was to build relationships and to be able to be more sociable. I was sociable in the high school since when I came to college, and I'm like 17, 18. But then once I left, or once I was just around more like-minded people, I was able to think more like them, and we influenced each other. It wasn't this whole thing about trying to separate ourselves from anybody else. It was about trying to come together and push forward. So hopefully these kids that are in school can understand that. And also, I got to add one last thing, elephant in the room for me. If you're in school and you're not really doing much, you're just kind of complaining and crying, your schoolwork is not really important, you might want to just drop out, go do something else. If you're paying for it, especially, what are you doing? You're going to have a whole car note on your back with no car, and it's going to be ridiculous when you're out there in the world with a degree in underwater basket weaving or lesbian dance theory or camping. Shout out to the young lady I met at the Blexer rally. She said that her brother had a minor in camping. I was like, are you serious? If you have a minor or major like that and you're not really doing anything, please drop out, do something else, go to a trade school or something and make some money that way. And if you're going to be serious in school, little things like this little multicultural center and being in little woke spaces, that's not how the world works. You got to be out there with skills that are marketable, that you can make money off of. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that it's appropriate to have a multicultural student center with all non-whites and no whites accepted? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Also, if that's your viewpoint, how do you feel about segregation? Isn't it the same thing? No blacks allowed, no whites allowed. What's the difference? You tell me. Am I wrong? Am I right? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.